Before you buy property in Mexico, don't start with the contract. Start with the title. Because a contract can look official, the home can look beautiful, and the price can look right. But if the title side is not clear, you may not know who actually has the legal right to transfer that property to you. And that is where expensive problems can begin. Many American buyers naturally focus on what they can see first. The ocean view, the price, the payment schedule, the contract. But before you move deeper into the process, the safer question is not only, do I like this property? The safer question is, does the paperwork clearly show who owns it, who can sell it, and what exactly is being transferred? This is the part many buyers misunderstand. A contract is important, but a contract by itself does not prove clean ownership. The contract may say one thing, while the title documents, ownership records, or bank trust paperwork show something that still needs to be verified. The name may not match. The property description may be unclear. The seller may not have full authority, or the ownership structure may involve a fideicomiso, which is a bank trust often used by foreign buyers in certain areas of Mexico. That does not automatically mean the deal is bad, but it does mean the deal is not ready for serious money yet. The first thing to check is ownership structure. The documents should clearly show who owns the property or how the ownership is legally structured. In some areas, especially near the coast or borders, an American buyer may use a fideicomiso, a bank trust. That can be completely normal. But you need to understand the structure before you assume you are buying exactly what you think you are buying. Because I like the property is not the same as the ownership structure is clear. The second thing to check is seller authority. The person selling the property must clearly have the legal right to transfer it. That sounds obvious. But this is one of the places where buyers get too comfortable. Someone can show you the home. Someone can negotiate the price. Someone can even have their name appear in the paperwork. But the real question is not who is talking to you. The real question is who legally has the authority to sell and transfer this property. If that answer is unclear, the problem may not show up on the tour. It may show up later, after money has already moved. This is why the title check cannot be treated like a separate paperwork step. It affects the contract, the payment timing, and what actually happens at closing. I explained the full buying process in another video on how Americans buy property in Mexico. But stay with this title check first, because this is where expensive mistakes often begin before the buyer realizes there is a problem. The third thing to check is the property description, because the paperwork can describe something slightly different from what you think you are buying. So the documents must match the property you were shown. The unit, the lot, the boundaries, the address, and the legal description. If any part is unclear, incomplete, or does not match what you were shown, resolve it before you continue. Not after signing. Before. The paperwork should match the property before the transaction moves forward. The fourth thing to check is whether anything is financially or legally attached to the property. Unpaid fees, debts, liens, claims, or ownership disputes that have not been fully resolved. This is where I would slow down. These issues are not always visible when you walk through the home. You may not see them in the kitchen. You may not see them from the balcony. You find them in the paperwork, the records, and the closing review. And if they are missed, they can become your problem at the worst possible time. Here is the practical risk. This is where I would slow down. If you skip the title check, you may not discover the problem until after you have already signed, sent a deposit, or wired a major payment. At that point, your leverage can change. The seller already has money. The timeline is already moving. And fixing the issue may become slower, more stressful, and more expensive. That is why the title check is not a small technical step. It is one of your main protections before you buy. So before you buy property in Mexico, this is where I would slow down. Don't only ask, do I like this home? Ask the safer questions. Does the title show who owns it? Does the seller have clear authority to transfer it? Does the property description match the actual property? And have debts, liens, or claims been checked before money moves? A clean-looking contract is not enough by itself. If those checks are not clear, I would not rush this part. Title first, then contract, then payment. And if you want to see where this title check fits into the safe buying process, watch this next video. How Americans buy property in Mexico. It walks you through the step-by-step order before you move forward.